is Akinfade. I'm welcoming you to Impact Series. This is how we're going to start today. On Saturday, I had the privilege of being invited to speak at the onboarding of new successful scholarship candidates on the iScholar initiative. And there were a few words I passed to the successful candidates. While I was a student at the Oyo State College of Arts and Science, advanced level program, I needed to be reading like 8 hours in a day, 9 hours in a day. And I'm not talking of when I go to bed to still need to read. What happened? What was I reading with? Lantern. There's something we used to call lantern. That's what I read with. Everywhere will always be dark. And I'm not talking about myself alone. I'm talking about other students. When I run out of kerosene, I read with candle. And when I run out of candle, what happens? One particular night, my candle burnt out and I slept off. By the time I woke up at 1 a.m., I remember that I was burning beans. I was cooking beans. At 1 a.m., I burnt the beans. I went to bed hungry, famished. I was a student. I needed to feed. I needed to get ready for class the following day. My lecturers, oh my goodness, they were as nice as they were tough. This made me realize that Nigerian students always got prepared for exams under very, very terrible situations of infrastructural deficit. It used to be deficit then. Today, I think it's decay. How did we pass our exams? How did we come this far? Now, begin to imagine what people went through then and what people are going through now, especially the youth. There is a man that we've really never celebrated in Nigeria and across the world. A very selfless man, a very purposeful man, a very dogged fighter, a man who saw silver lining within our very, very convoluted dynamics of development in Nigeria. A man who strapped his own shoes, found himself outside the shores of Nigeria, lives in one of the best nations of the world, yet still looked back to ensure that pro bono, at no cost to anyone, is navigating Nigerian students, Nigerian youth, to academic greener pastures overseas, to self-development, to global exposure, to growth, to the stratospheric space of self-esteem. Who is this man so good? Before we start talking about him today, take a listen.
Mr. Victor Ogunmola is a seasoned geoscientist with 2 decades of experience in the oil and gas industry. Trained at prestigious institutions like the University of Aberdeen, Obafemi Awolowo University, and FUT Akure, Mr. Victor Ogunmola has worked with major companies across Africa, Europe, and North America, currently working with ExxonMobil. Beyond his professional achievements, Mr. Victor Ogunmola is passionate about mentoring and developing future leaders. He co-leads the iScholar initiative, investing in the careers of promising African youth. An award-winning member of the American Association of Petroleum Geologists, Mr. Victor Ogunmola actively supports the growth of the next generation of geoscientists, serving as the Vice President of the AAPG Africa region and contributing to various students and young professional committees.
Wherever you are joining from, I just want to say it's a privilege and very humbling experience to have been invited today. I don't know what I do to deserve for this really, but I just want to thank Akinfade Foundation. And of course, as you rightly mentioned, iScholar initiative is not built around just one individual. one person must have had the privilege to initiate something, but the true success of ISI is the people who, in their own passionate way, bought into the vision. I know the Foundation has gotten quite a number of initiatives, either fighting social injustice in our society, raising the next generation of leaders. So as an organization, we are proud to be part of your brand. So once again, thank you. And I'm so happy and excited for all that you do. Thank you, sir.
Fumi Hector Olukoya. They call her Afume Triple A on social media. Fumi, how did you meet Victor? And what can you say about Victor Ogunmola?
My name is Fumi Hector Olukoya. I'm simply known as Afume or Fumi. I met Victor, I think that should be 2000. It's not been a long journey, but it will seem like I've known him for decades. It was a chance meeting during the COVID era where everybody was just trying to do something to get distracted from the COVID-19 that was ravaging the world at the time. So I stumbled on something he wrote on Facebook, something about the ice collar. I got fascinated by the write-up and I read it. And I'm like, this can't be happening, you know? So I dug further and I said, okay, I think I would want to be part of this if it is as noble as it's been written. So I went inbox, introduced myself and said, okay, I want to do a one-off, you know, just do a one-off and just be on my way because I had my hands full at the time. I just didn't want to be any part of any establishment or group. Okay, so that was how the journey and the friendship with that I've enjoyed with Victor began. And sincerely, till today, I still sit down and marvel at the things the ice collar has done. You know, it is said that our heroes don't wear their capes. And I think, to be honest, Victor is one uncelebrated Nigerian. Doing things even the government will not attempt to do. Now we have ice scholars flung all around the world, doing exceptionally well. Folks that would never, we've had folks in the ISI who would never have thought of even going to the airport. We had some who had never stepped out of their hometowns where they also schooled, but courtesy of the magnanimity of the ice scholar partners whom Victor has put together, who folks in the ISI also who believe in the vision that he created, bring folks from outside to join in. There's no government funding from anywhere. This thing is just from each other's pockets. I mean, Victor started this thing all by himself, you know, doing out of pocket to students he could reach to ensure that they had better lives than he started with. So I'm very happy to be associated with him. I'm not trying to say anything to flatter him, but he has done what generations of presidents in Nigeria wouldn't have attempted to do. He has put almost one per family of the students that have attended the ISI, that passed through the ISI now, who are on, most of them are on full scholarship abroad, you know, put them in that, change the situations of family, because once you have someone who can cater to 3-4 more people, then you have bettered the lots of a lot of people. So that is exactly who Victor is, selfless to a T, you know. Today, I'm very glad that the Akifade Foundation, which I'm partially part of too, has chosen to celebrate Victor. It is a worthy celebration, and I'm so glad that we're doing this. For it is good for people to get their flowers, see their flowers, smell their roses in their lifetime.
Thank you very much, Fumi Hector Olukoya. Thank you, Dr. Jele, for joining us. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Hakim Fade. Thank you to your team. Thank you for the great work that you are doing. As always, it's a privilege to be reached out to by you for any of your engagements. And I consider it one of my duties, sacred duties, to support Akifayede Foundation in any way I can. My name is Olukunle Ojeleye. I started a working career in 1989 at Standard Newspapers in Jos, Nigeria. From there, I left for the United Kingdom, and I was privileged enough to work in the local government sector, rising to senior management level. Before I left there on adventure and came into Canada, and I currently work for the government of Canada as a decision maker. Talking about 2018, he posted on Facebook that he was going to give a scholarship award to fund the TOEFL as well as the GRE exam of any student, and that people should pitch for that particular award on Facebook. Given my discussion with him before, I said to him privately that I would also fund one student. And then he mentioned it on Facebook that he got another student being funded. And before we knew it, a couple of other of his friends said they were also funding one student. So I think I have the advantageous position of being able to talk about him and High Scholar Initiative because I've been part of the journey right from the foundation. From that Facebook initiative, I called Victor and I said, you know what? I think you cannot do this just on the side. You really need to put a structure in place. And the next thing was that he came back to me and told me I'd set up a scholar initiative in the United States as a nonprofit organization registered with the various authorities. And of course, he then asked me if I wouldn't mind helping him and working with him, running with him in the journey by taking over the operations of the nonprofit organization as the vice president of operations. That was how I sort of joined High Scholar Initiative in 2019. But talking about Victor, what would I say about him? Given my understanding of him personally, given my understanding of his passions, over the last couple of years that I've come to know him, I would say not only is he a grassroots person, as my sister, Mrs. Hector Olukoya, mentioned, Victor is also somebody who wants to make sure that the new lease of life that God has given him as somebody who was diagnosed with cancer and has been able to survive it, that he wants to make sure that he puts back not just into society, but into building other people up who would never have had the opportunity, not only to step up part of Nigeria, but also to make a very successful career for themselves in whatever area or field of human endeavor that they've chosen. Thank you for choosing to celebrate somebody who is worthy of being celebrated. And once again, Akinfade Foundation, thank you for the good work you do on a regular basis. Really appreciative of being able to come here today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kunle Ojele. Thank you, Victor Ogunmola, for all you do. I'd like you to speak about Victor. What is it that fascinates Victor to you?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I am very glad to be here to see Mr. Ogunmola celebrated. I think when someone was talking, they mentioned is one of the uncelebrated heroes in Nigeria. And I think that is really, really true. Before I move on, my name is Faidat Badamosi. I'm a first generation student, but my parents didn't go to college or anything like that. I'm also the first of 7 kids from a very humble background. And right now, I'm a rising fourth-year PhD candidate in organic chemistry at the University of South Carolina in the USA. And oh yeah, and I also graduated with a first class from the University of Ibadan, where I studied industrial chemistry. And so I joined ISI in 2019. So I was part of the very first set. And I remember putting in my ISI application on the deadline day. A friend had just sent it to me and was like, you could try this opportunity because right from when I was young, I always knew I wanted to make global impact, but I just didn't know I was going to achieve that dream. So right from when I was 15, I had been trying to compete globally. I'd been trying to apply abroad and stuff like that. So when I finished my undergrad in UI, I knew the next step for me, but I just could not afford GRE, TOEFL, and all of those exams. So seeing that opportunity that Mr. Ogunmola had put out there was sort of like a light to my path, was like I don't even know how to put it, especially for my family, because I'm the first of 7 and I'm from a really humble background. Yeah. So back in 2019, I applied, and luckily, when the results came out, I was selected as one of the first 5. I remember that post, they had initially wanted to select 3 people, but my name was, I think, 4th on the list. So it was very, I don't even know how to put, how to describe how I felt and how it felt like God just came through and brought more people to contribute to that initiative at that time so that it could increase it from 3 to 5. And interestingly, it went all the way to 20, which was so good. And through that, I was able to write my exams. I was able to apply to grad school, and here I am today. I'm a rising 4th-year PhD candidate, almost getting to the end of my PhD. And right now, I feel like I'm on my way to achieving that dream. I'm on my way to contributing globally. I'm on my way to making very positive impact as much as I can. So I would say that Mr. Ogunmola is, I don't think there's any word that could really describe him, but speaking about all the many I scholars, I think we are about, is it 250 or 350 right now? Imagine the 350, we just see it as 350 people, but we do not see the families, the generations, and everything that he has kind of impacted. So finding a word to describe him is really, really difficult. Mr. Ogunmola, he shows up. Mr. Ogunmola is thinking of us, is like a father. And that's why iScholar Initiative is not an organization, but a family. And this could only have been possible because one man decided to put that Facebook post out there in 2019 and decided that, he wanted to actually change the lives of so many people. And it's easy to understand because like you said, it comes from his own story. And that's why right now I'm always looking for ways to contribute to iScholar Initiative. So right now I volunteer as operations manager of ISI. I'm looking for ways to contribute, even though I might not be able to contribute financially now, but I'm able to contribute my time. I'm able to contribute my knowledge. I'm able to contribute everything else that I can just to make sure that another student out there gets this type of opportunity and is able to actually see that their dreams are valid. My father is always on ISI's Facebook, sharing the posts to people everywhere and all to see that it's actually possible. Education can actually help you be greater in life. Education can help you to improve your lives and all that. So they are elated, I don't even know how to describe it, but I'm sure my mother will tell me every time she wakes up every day, she would always say a word of prayer.
How much did Victor Ogunmola ask you to bring or to give to him?
Everything is free. Every single thing is free. No one asks. They even ask you if you want more.
Question, you have the floor.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Good morning from the United States. Good afternoon to Nigeria. My name is Goshen David Mitiu, and I'm a 2021 I Scholar Initiative awardee or beneficiary. I would agree with everything my colleagues and peers have said about Mr. Victor. To be fair, Mr. Victor is truly one of the unsung heroes that we need to celebrate more. I remember when I finished my undergrad degree in 2020, and I knew that definitely I wanted to get an advanced degree. So I had my first degree in biochemistry at Caleb University, Nigeria, partly sponsored by good individuals too. And then when I finished, I sought how to get higher education, say a PhD, for instance. And then, I did my research and I found out that, okay, to be very competitive out there, I'll need to get like my GRE and TOEFL, to submit a competitive application. But truly then, I didn't have the means to afford, this standardized test. Unfortunately for me, as I researched online, I came across the High Scholar Initiative, and I was like, okay, I read through the requirements, okay, what you need to put forth to be considered for the scholarship. And I was like, okay, I think I have a potential and I think I should shoot for this. I was a bit scared that coming from or graduating from a private university could maybe hinder me from getting the scholarship. But to my amazement, I won the scholarship. So speaking about inclusion and diversity, I feel like the High Scholarship has done a very, very, great job. It doesn't really discriminate, oh, you're from this particular state, or you're from this. It gives the award like those who truly deserve it and those who truly, have the potentials. So I've been opportunity to meet Mr. Victor once. That was in 2021. Where we had like a gathering of hall scholars during our court. And I would say Mr. Victor is a very humble person. He's goal-driven, just like everybody has said, and he's very intentional. And one thing that struck me, from his personality is that it gives scholars the opportunity to also give back to the community. So I remember he always encourages us to like volunteer our time, our knowledge to also like help other people who are coming on board into the initiative. So currently I volunteer as one of the innovation managers at High Scholar Initiative, where we brainstorm ideas to forge partnerships, implement strategic plans and stuff like that. So like my journey would not have been possible without the High Scholar Initiative. I'm super excited and proud to be associated with High Scholar Initiative. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Goshen. Esther, let's have you introduce yourself.
Good morning from the mountain states in the US, Colorado. My name is Esther Oedele. I'm a first-generation scholar, which means none of my parents went to college, but I'm the youngest of 4 kids. And I was a beneficiary of the 2019 iScholar Initiative Maiden Edition. And I had my bachelor's in geophysics from the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, after which I was awarded the scholarship in 2019 because of the COVID. I couldn't start my program in the fall of 2019, so I had to defer to start in, I couldn't start my program in the fall of 2020. So I had to defer to start in spring 2021 when I moved to the USA for my master's degree at the Bowling Green State University in Ohio. Currently, I'm a PhD student, a second-year PhD student at Virginia Tech, also in the USA. And I also want to appreciate iScholar for giving me the platform to kind of like give back to others, because I always tell people I'm a serial volunteer. It's a different thing when you have the passion to want to do it, and it's a different thing when you have the platform that gives you the opportunity to be able to do what you want to do. Currently, I serve as a mentor to other scholars, incoming scholars, and also both within ISI or even outside ISI. And I also serve as a program manager for the initiative. I also will not be here saying all those things or be able to appreciate how far I've come with respect to my career and academic goals if someone like Mr. Victor Ogunmola did not start up the initiative or did not put up the Facebook post, like Faidat said, back then in 2019, and since then, Mr. Ogunmola has been not just a professional mentor, but like a father. Like he sees everybody like his children. He's ready to help you. He's ready to give you an advice. He's ready to guide you. I would just say generally that he's a visionary leader. And he has this deep commitment to kind of like empowering underrepresented students, people from poor background like myself, people who don't think their dreams are valid. He's a visionary leader that is there to help us and to give us hope that yes, our dreams are valid. He kind of like has a deep understanding about like the challenges you face if you're coming from like different background because of his own personal journey. And through him, I would say iScholar has transformed the lives of countless Nigerian students from humble background. Through him, he has been able to like develop this initiative that provides us with the tools and the support and the mentorship we need to achieve our academic goals and to be able to achieve our professional dreams. His passion for education is on another level, and he's just a selfless leader. Like everybody have been saying, he will do all this thing, and he also wants to give you more. If he can give you everything you want just for you to be in the best place you desire to be. And one thing with Mr. Ogunmola that I would say to round my talk up is, Mr. Victor Ogunmola, thank you for everything you do for our generation and for the coming generation, because as you've impacted my life, as you've impacted other scholars' life, you have impacted our generation and the generations to come. And thank you for being someone that all you care about is making transformative impact and seeing that Nigerian students achieve their dream. Thank you, Mr. Victor Ogunmola. And thank you, Akin Fadeyi Foundation, for giving us this platform to celebrate Mr. Victor Ogunmola. Thank you.
Mustafa Abdullahi, we'd like you to introduce yourself and tell us, what has iScholar Initiative done for you and how has it changed your life?
Thanks so much for the opportunity. It's like a really big privilege to be here. Thank you so much. So my name is Mustafa Abdullahi. I'm currently a PhD student at Alto University. First year, I started 2 months ago. So originally, I would say I started my bachelor's from Ahmad Bello University, and I was fortunate to graduate at the best graduating student then in the Faculty of Engineering. And it's one thing to be like a really good and exceptional student. It's another thing to like kind of get opportunities abroad, which is like a very different ball game. So for me, I guess like when I'm kind of computer science field, and what I really wanted to be doing, or what I've always wanted to do, was in AI, because I kind of feel like AI is kind of a very revolutionary field, which will really change the course of like this century, how like the internet and electricity has changed it. So, and I really wanted to like go beyond what I wanted to do. And I knew I wanted to go into graduate studies, but the kind of pathway to go into graduate studies was a bit complicated because I really didn't know anything about that. But thank God for the ISI initiative program, which I applied for, and fortunate to be one of the selected applicants for that. So one of the things that ISI has really impacted me on is like the mentorship, which was really fantastic part of the program. And it was able to cater for my needs, help me build a pathway towards like applying for graduate schools and tailoring my applications for that. And also the mentorship I did receive on that, on how you could become a better person, in that in graduate studies, a different ball game entirely. So having those particular kind of skill sets will enable you to kind of survive within the program itself. So, and again, within the ISI program, you kind of meet other ambitious individuals who also have their own particular goals, but like you are having like different paths, but it's kind of aligned in some way because you want to be better in some way and you want to improve on your own self. But having those people around you, it's kind of like a source of motivation in its own self. So one quick story I would give, which has been like one of my high points of the ISI. So after making some applications, I got this scholarship from Google DeepMind, which is one of the top AI companies in the world, to study in the UK for my master's, and also another company from Quantum Black, all sponsoring for my master's. So one of the challenges I had was traveling. So I had this scholarship in hand, but traveling became an issue because of very high expense then, like applying for visas and maybe travel costs and things related to that. So, and it was that kind of thing, like you are so close to your ambition and yet so far, because you have this kind of, you kind of have this kind of challenge in which you can't sort out, you can't sort out. But ISI were able to come to my aid and enable me facilitate my travel, which has been like really an impactful part of my life journey. And I'll always remember that, and I'll always be grateful for that.
Now, you've all seen that Victor Ogunmola has changed the game of scholarship processes in Nigeria. If you're watching this show, the initiative of Victor Ogunmola is iScholar Initiative. And all you need to do is to go on iScholar's website, fill all the requisite forms, and you're good to go. But be sure you're bringing your brain to the game. iScholar, you cannot make a call to say, oh, please help me help my sister, or help me help my brother. The system runs. Victor told me, if anything happens to him today, iScholar will run. iScholar will go on. And of course, we're not praying that anything happens to him today. Victor will live with us. Victor will live among us for a very long time to come. My friends, there is nothing you love in this world that is worthier than how you are treated. For every champion that logged onto Impact Series today, continue to tell yourself you're a champion. I say a very great thank you to Dr. Kunle Ojele. I say a great thank you to Fumi Hector Olukoya. A great thank you to Victor Ogunmola, the Nigerian that we celebrated today. I say a big thank you to my production team, my technical team. Again, a big thank you to Dixon from X Platform, to Clinton from X Platform, to Magdalene, to Lola Rekori, to all of you who are live tweeting this program. The only reason I'm able to do this is because you're behind me. Thank you so much. Till I see you again on the next edition of Impact Series. Continue to be the champion that you are. Bye for now.